Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go.
I've been talking to several of my clients about sales confidence on the sales call, or even maybe you're on an Instagram story and you're selling yourself, and how so much of it really comes back to your ability to be confident in what you offer, that you're good at what you do, that even though you might doubt yourself or compare yourself to others, that at least for a minute, when an ideal client is standing in front of you, you're able to suspend that negative self-talk long enough to say, yes, I can support you. Yes, I would love to help design your website. Yes, I would love to coach you. Yes, I would love to be your VA. Yes, I would love to be your copywriter. And say it with this full body energy of there's no one in the world that would do a better job than me. Even if you don't, even if only part of you believes that, right? Yes, it's important in your business to get visible and build your audience. But I find that for most heart-centered women, if they can close the gap of getting better at sales, it's just the easiest way to make more money fast. And for me, the way I've been able to make so much money in my business, I believe truly is my ability to, that I decided to embrace heart-centered sales. And often this skill set of selling ourselves is a little bit different than what we do in our service. Yes, of course, there is overlapping skill sets, like being a good listener, asking good questions. If you've watched my sales masterclass, you know I argue that heart-centered women are the best at selling, because really at the end of the day, sales is listening, helping someone make their best decision, asking good questions, really coaching skills, really heart-centered skills, right? It's why when you read a sales book, or you read one of those bro books about how to win friends and influence people, on the inside, you're like, oh my gosh, I just have to be myself. I just have to be heart-centered, right? But I do think as women, because there's so much baggage around sales, maybe someone has sold to you before and it felt icky or pushy or degrading, even disempowering. We really, as heart-centered women, do not want to put anyone else in that sort of experience that was disempowering. So because there is so much charge around selling, I think as heart-centered women, when we go to sell, we're almost not ourselves, right? Or maybe you're really confident in your work, what you provide as a service provider or a coach or consultant, but all of a sudden when it comes to sales, you feel like a shell of yourself, right? You feel unconfident, you feel ungrounded, you feel uncertain, you feel insecure. It's why I love giving my clients sales scripts. Again, not because your words aren't worthy, but because in a sales situation, whether you are in a networking event and you're talking about what you do, or whether you're on a sales call, or whether you're on an Instagram live, the script helps bring you home to your heart. The script helps you be more of you, right? Anytime we practice or rehearse something, it's nice because then when our nerves are there or our negative self-talk is high, we're able to fall back. It's so interesting. I feel like sometimes a script can be more of our voice or more of the truth than just winging it when we're feeling nervous, when we're feeling insecure. It's why I'm such a big fan of reusing content, right? In seasons of my life and business, when I have had hard things happen, how I'm able to be pretty consistent in how I'm showing up and getting visible is I batch content, I create in advance, I reuse content, right? And that doesn't make it any less authentic. It just means that, in moments when I am not my best self, I'm able to still put out my best self. And that's what sales scripting does. And so I have a lot of thoughts I want to share with you today, but today, let's start with the takeaway, okay? I want you to script for yourself. I've given this homework assignment to several clients lately, which is why I thought to give it to you, of a sentence that you can say that feels true to you, that is something along the lines of, yes, I would love to help you. I would love to design your website. I would love to be your coach. And I'm going to do a great job, right? And there's no one else better that you could hire when it comes to doing this thing. So often when we hear a person on a sales call or whatever, like with their particular situation, and maybe it's a little bit different than something we've helped someone with before, or maybe we're like, oh, I don't have that exact experience, or maybe we're intimidated because they seem like an amazing person. That's a good thing, right? Or maybe they have a big goal or a big dream, right? We can be intimidated by that because as a saleswoman, we want to be in integrity and we don't want to sell someone something that is going to disappoint them, or like we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But I find that some heart-centered women, in the sake of not wanting to overpromise and underdeliver, they really, at least for me, let me share examples of what I've done before, right? So early on in my sales learning, I felt like I had to really level set someone and give them an exact outline. Like, if you want to work with me for 6 months, this is what's actually realistic. And some of that level setting, I think, is good. If someone tells me like, Anna, I want to hire you and I want to, they're not visible, they don't have an offer, and they're like, I want to make 20K this month. I'm like, probably isn't going to happen. But what could happen is I could help you sign your first client, because that needs to happen. Your first 1K needs to happen on the way to your first 20K, and we could do that together. So I'm a big fan of like level setting people to some extent. But I also think that I really felt, because I was so afraid to disappoint someone, I felt like I had almost give them too much information before they bought. For example, like in my mastermind, Sell with Heart, we're doing sales work on creating their offer and working on sales calls and working on money mindset and just a lot of details. And I think I used to feel like someone has to understand every single thing that's in that program, understand all 12 of the sales modules, and understand all 12 of the money mindset modules. But that person may not want to know that. They just may want to know, okay, Anna, can you help me make 6 figures or multi-6 figures on a 3-day work week? Yes, I can help you with that. They may not need to know the 24 video modules they're going to have to watch to get there, right? And to be honest, some of those 24 video modules, they may love some of them. Some of them may make them feel uncomfortable. The work we ask our clients to do on the way to what they want to get to may feel hard or sticky. And I think I almost felt like I had to like be overly transparent or, share the things that would ease my anxiety instead of focusing on the things that they were worried about in the process, right? For example, they might, so many women jump to in a sales call, like the price, right? It costs this much because they think the person on the phone, their biggest objection is going to be the price. But it may not be. It may be they had another bad experience with a different coach before and they want to debrief it. It may be they're feeling like they're short on time and how much time will this program require. It may be maybe they have a certain value or belief in their culture, in their religion, in whatever, and they want to know if this program will honor that. Start with, I love asking my clients potential clients on a sales call, I say, this program would be a great fit for you. What are your questions? I've told this story before, but I remember going to a gym when my kids were really young, and what mattered to me was the kids center safe? I really didn't care about anything else. Like for me, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to working out. Like I can be happy on a treadmill. I can be happy in a workout class. Like I'm an Enneagram 7. I don't really care. I'm also not very picky as far as like how clean things are, because again, like I can walk on a treadmill and have my earbud, but this guy took me around the gym, exhausted me, and he didn't even show me the kids center. And it was so irritating because if he would have asked me, okay, I'm so glad you're at this gym. What matters most to you in a gym? And I could have been, take me to the kids center. Tell me, do you background check your employees? Like that is what mattered to me. But he was probably based on his own experience of what mattered in the gym to him, and so was focusing on that. And honestly, I didn't care about the price of the gym. I didn't care about the features. I don't care about the pickleball court, or maybe it wasn't pickleball at the time. It was called like a wall ball, a racquetball or something, right? Now it's pickleball. But I didn't care about any of that. I didn't care about the pool. And I think that really stuck with me. And now, after I get to know my potential client on a sales call, I say, yes, based on what you shared, my coaching would be a great fit for you, if I believe that to be true, right? Obviously, there's like deal breakers, like if someone's has super unrealistic expectations, or is someone who is unkind, or if there's like a red flag, yes. But in general, I just say,
yes, I would love to be your coach. I would love to help you. I really recommend my 6-month mastermind, Sell with Heart. What questions do you have? That's it. That's the pitch, right? And what I feel like so many women are missing in their sales pitch is one of these two things. Number one, confidently saying, based on what you shared, I would be the perfect VA for you. Based on what you shared, look no further, I'm your dream designer. Based on what you shared, I would love to be your health coach for the next 6 months. I would love to help you meet those goals that you shared. And that means that you asked them what their goals are, big picture goals, and you listened, right? If you've been in my program, Getting Coached, and you've studied my coaching skills workbook and learned those 35 coaching skills, you know that I say that skill number 1 is listening, being silent, being patient, being present. We so underestimate those skills, right? But you've listened and you've said, yes, based on what you shared, I'm the girl for you. Your job in this podcast episode is to come up with a sentence that feels an integrity to you to say, right? If for whatever reason that feels too edgy or scary because you're like, I can't promise them, right? Like we're not promising anyone anything, right? We're saying like, based on what you shared, I would love to help get you closer to your goal. Right? I think so much as heart-centered women, because we're empowered, we take it to the extreme and we feel like we have to do the work for them. If you're a health coach, you're not the one getting on the treadmill, right? They're 90% in charge of their results, but you are an important 10%, right? And so coming up with a sentence for you, again, my sentence is often like, yes, based on what you shared, XYZ, when to get to 100K on a 3-day work week, I would love to help you do that in the Sell with Heart Mastermind. You need to come up with a sentence that says that, not just to say on sales calls, but to say in your content, to say in your emails, to say in your Instagram stories. You have to be your best spokesperson. You have to be the one that says, my program is amazing. My coaching is amazing. My services are awesome. Because they are. Like I tell my clients all the time, like I recommend people to you. You need to recommend people to you. So if you come up with a sentence, email it to me, say it out loud 10 times, and practice saying it like you mean it. That's part 1. Part 2 is saying, what questions do you have for me? And being willing to start with your potential client where they're at in having an objection. You guys know, you've heard me say this before, welcome objections. Objections from potential clients are a good thing. We're so afraid to be salesy, but the opposite of being salesy on a sales call is being curious and asking where people are stuck when it comes to buying from you. You can ask this publicly in your lunches too. You can write an email and say, what's holding you back from doing this program? What's your biggest hesitation? What's your biggest question? We're so afraid of that because often we're afraid of like conflict or rejection. But really, someone asking questions is one of the biggest buying cues you could get. If you read my blog post on buying cues, you know I believe that buying cues are these little ways that people show you, I want to buy from you. And one of them is asking a question. Because guess what? If someone's not interested in your product, they're not going to be asking questions. Questions are a good thing. Number 1, because it means you got a savvy buyer. Like I love when someone says like, I want to sleep on it. I want to pray about it. I want to ask my partner. Great. You know I'm going to follow up and ask like, okay, what other questions do you have, right? Is your partner supportive? Do you want help having that conversation? It doesn't mean you have to stop there. But I also just think like, when did we make it wrong for women to be savvy about their buying decisions? Like I only want someone buying my stuff if it's actually a fit for them, right? Because then they're going to be a happy client. They're going to get great results. They're going to refer me, blah, blah, blah. And so I think as heart-centered women, we need to know to ask for questions. Like what questions do you have? What hesitations do you have? Making it a really friendly space for that. I think the reason we don't is we feel like, we have to quote, overcome their objections. But I find for the most part, I'm not convincing anything. I'm just holding space for them to think about it, right? Like maybe they might say like, you know what, I don't know if I have time for the mastermind. Like this is really busy. I'm going to be on vacation. Of course, I can say my take and I can say things like, okay, over the next 6 months, most of my clients that are scaling their businesses have at least 1 month in the mastermind where they're a little less there, right? They're on vacation, they're traveling, they're doing something with their job or whatever, right? But it is so, number 1, I record the calls for you. Number 2, I'm available in Slack so that you can ask me questions. Number 3, you're going to have some months that are slower. You're going to have some months that are faster. You might be messaging me in Slack every day, right? That's normal. call. And the mastermind is designed to pace with you. It's not a course. It has course resources, but it really is designed to speed up and slow down with you. I'm your personal coach. So here I did share my take, but really a lot of it is asking them like, okay, tell me more about like, why do you not feel like you will have time? Like, what other obligations do you have? What does that look like? What sort of hours do you currently spend in your business, right? And then I can confirm like, okay, I don't think you'd have to work anymore. In fact, I think you actually might work less hours because what you're doing is going to be efficient. And instead of mindlessly spinning on decisions, you're going to be making decisions and getting business clarity strategy faster with me, right? I guess that was a bad example because I shared a lot of my thoughts, but on a call, I would mostly be asking clarifying questions, right? And like, for example, the money question, it really is asking like, okay, share what that looks like for you, right? Tell me more about why you feel like you can't afford it, because maybe truly they can't afford it. And if that's true and they come to that conclusion, great. You don't want someone in your program that can't afford it, right? But maybe it is more of like a fear, right? Or they've spent money before and it didn't go well, or a coach misused their trust. And so just being willing to, I tell my clients like, wade in the messiness of it and just get curious and be a neutral space and ask questions and helping someone make their best decision, whatever that is for them. I also love asking the question like, okay, totally get that that's a block. If that wasn't an issue, what are other blocks that might be in your way? Because sometimes they may say one thing or it may feel like one thing, but it really is something else behind the scenes, right? Like maybe it is a little bit of a money fear. I know I'm nervous every time I spend money in my business. I'm brave, but also like, is it something else too? Like the fact that like, okay, joining this program means you like actually have to get visible. You'd actually have to sign clients and you actually would be making money. Maybe you're excited about that, but you're also a little nervous, right? You're already feeling overwhelmed and like taking on new people, are people going to criticize me when I'm visible? Are my clients going to be unhappy with me? Like trying to get to some of that deeper stuff and really just being present for it, not having to like convince anyone, not having to, fix anything, but just giving someone space for that buying decision, I think is so essential. And like I said, starting with where they're at, right? They may say, what's the price? They may say, what's the time commitment? They may say, what's your values and beliefs on this? And do I align with it? But I just cannot underscore the importance enough and how much I think heart-centered women miss this key of being super confident. Yes, I can solve this problem with you. What questions do you have for me? And just showing up and being present in it. And I do think heart-centered women struggle with a lack of confidence. I know that I did around like, okay, I'm a little, this is a new person to me. I don't know them. And I don't know what it's going to look like to work with them for 6 months, but I think it's really having self-trust that you'll know your red flags, you'll know your deal breakers, but beyond that you can trust yourself to pace with this person. I also believe that when someone's in front of you, for me, I feel like God, the universe, I believe things happen for a reason. And so I really try to like lean on my faith and trust that like, even though I don't know exactly what it'll look like, I trust that if this person is here, if this person was drawn to my content, it's for a reason. And I can trust that I can be confident enough to help them to the best of my ability, that I am good enough, that I am worthy enough, that I bring enough to the table. Right? So often we disqualify ourselves, but I'm a big fan of like letting your potential clients disqualify you, right? Just saying like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I've done. This is the experience I bring to the table. Do you want to hire me or not? Right? Instead of like, oh, they could find someone better, or, oh, I haven't done this exact thing before, or those voices are so loud. And I really want to remind you like that confidence is quiet and it's safe for you to say, I'm amazing at what I do and I would love to help you. Are you saying that on your sales calls? My guess is that you're not. Okay. So email me your sentence, your confident sentence, and bonus points if you want to like voice memo it to me on Instagram so that you can listen to it back and really hear yourself. Say that with confidence. Yes, based on your goals to grow your business, I would love to design your website. Look no further. I truly believe that I'm the perfect designer for you. right? I might say that to you if you're in a sales call with me. After I listen to you, I might say, if I believe it to be true, yes, based on what you shared, I truly believe Sell with Heart Mastermind is the perfect program for you. I designed it exactly for women where you're at. And I would love to be your coach. There is no other coach that is as invested as me, that's going to show up for you, cheer for you, and has had this combination of, like-minded sisters, 12 other women that are where you're at, but also a highly invested coach that cares about you. I just plugged myself. And there are times on sales calls where I don't say that if I don't feel like someone's going to be a fit. But if someone is going to be a fit, it's safe for you to go first and risk that rejection and really promote yourself. I want you to try tweaking this, whether it's on a sales call, whether it's on an Instagram post, whether it's on Instagram story. And try saying this. Try saying this sentence with confidence, and I think it's going to make a big difference for you. Okay, if you're listening to this in real time, I'd love to invite you to a free 20-minute strings-free coaching session. This is not a sales call. This is me and me giving you 20 minutes of advice in your business as a CEO, the biggest thing that's holding you back from scaling to multi-six figures on a 3-day work week. I love to brainstorm and troubleshoot. And so I love doing these sessions with you if I've never coached you before. And then of course, after, if you have questions about the mastermind, I'm happy to answer that too. But it's just a way for me to give back and give you support and really dive in tangibly and give you feedback. And I think you'll like my advice because you'll find that it's heart-centered. Like, I'm not going to ask you to do weird salesy stuff. Like, if you resonate with the advice I give you on this podcast, you will love that personal advice I give you around getting more visible, but in a way where you don't have to be a social media superstar, a way where you're able to make more money and sign clients, but in a way where you don't have to feel salesy or out of integrity, right? We are about heart-centered marketing in a way that doesn't overwhelm you, doesn't bring you out. And I would love to have you on a CEO session. That's also a way that I basically like to vet people in the mastermind just to make sure that they're a good fit, because it is 6 months of women journeying with each other. Yes, I'm there to personally coach you, includes bonus one-on-one sessions, all of that. But really a big part of it is that beautiful experience with other like-minded, heart-centered sisters. So I do like to make sure that everyone is a good fit for each other. So that's basically a way to apply for the program too, if you're interested, and for you to see, like, are the strategies I give you, do you want to go off and do them by yourself? Or are you like, ooh, okay, this makes sense. This is a good plan. I do want Anna's support for 6 months to make this happen, to gain traction, to create my happy, boring dream life. And I will just say, if you're on the fence about really investing in learning sales, working your money mindset, it is the number one thing that I'm so glad that I invested my time, money, energy into in my business that has made me money in my business. Like, I remember Googling, like, can I make money online without selling? And I think what I was trying to ask myself is, could I do it in a way that felt an integrity to me? And I'm so glad that I realized that sales was just a word that felt icky to me, but it's not a bad thing. Sales is just inviting. Sales is just that connection point between someone not knowing you and someone paying you money that is an aligned client that you can help. And so when I stopped really villainizing the word and I stopped embracing it, I started embracing it. It's why I call my mastermind Sell with Heart, even though it's a word that you might shy away from, because even before investing in the program, I want you to own and embrace that you're ready to open your heart to receiving money, good money, abundant income for what you do, in a way that you're working a 3-day work week and things are flexible, but you're really owning that, like, okay, yes, I'm a great coach, VA, copywriter, health coach, right? But also, I need to be good at sales and marketing. Also, I need the skill set, and it's safe for me to learn the skill set so that I'm not using that skill of being a good coach for someone else that is good at sales and marketing, right? That's basically getting a traditional day job, is you are using your heart-centered skills and someone else has figured out how to sell and market it. What I'm trying to teach you to do is sell and market yourself so that you can always make unlimited cash on yourself, because you're an amazing person. Like, you have amazing skills. You're a great employee, right? But we don't want someone taking the top off of that. We want you to fully profit from your skills for forever, right? I think for me, learning and embracing sales and marketing, I realize, is a skill set that till I die will serve me, because I know I'm a great person, but now I also know how to sell and market it and talk about it in a way that feels aligned and integrity to me. You deserve that. You deserve to have that skill set, right? I think it's a skill set that can come more naturally for people that aren't heart-centered. It can come a little bit naturally for men, but it's just as important. It's just as important that we learn it, because behind the scenes, I feel like heart-centered entrepreneurs, we're actually a great product. We're actually a great service. We care, we show up, we deliver, we over-deliver. That's why we also talk about boundaries. That's why we also talk about policies in the program, but I digress. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in as always and sending you a big hug. It's not easy to be a heart-centered entrepreneur, right? But I love your problems. Like, I love the mastermind calls, because women, the problems you're sharing are so heart-centered. Like, it's because you care so much, right? It's because you want your message to be in integrity. It's because you don't want a niche and you don't want to leave people out. It's because you want to sell in a way that feels good to the other person on the other end. Like, I just love it, because you're the biggest hearts, right? But it's also things that we can work on too. Okay. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.